The Toronto Marlies are 5-2 to start their season, but before we get into any storylines related around them, let's talk about the news of the day. From Leafs PR, the Maple Leafs have recalled forward Pontus Holmberg and have sent Wayne Simmonds down to the Marlies. We're going to talk about both players, but we're going to start off with Pontus Holmberg, a great depth center for this Leafs team who actually looks like he might end up centering the third line possibly when the Leafs play, which tomorrow night or tonight or whenever you're watching this video, against the Philadelphia Flyers. He's a very reliable center at both ends of the rink, and he's a very good puck transporter as well, getting the puck up the ice, and just when he's in the offensive zone as well, finding players and having that patience with the puck to know when to pass it off or when to hold on to it. He'll usually wait for opposing players to do what they do and try to get the puck off him before he waits and he finds his teammate to pass the puck to create a scoring chance for them. And you might be wondering, why not Alex Steeves? Why not Joey Anderson? Why not Adam Gaudette? Well, Pontus Holmberg is a natural born center, and he's going to be a centerman for this Maple Leafs team. Alex Steeves, Joey Anderson, Adam Gaudette, and etc. aren't natural born centers, and although they might play center at some points, that's not their first position. But now let's talk about Wayne Simmonds, who was sent down. Now, we all know what happened last time. He didn't report to the Marlies. He stayed up with the Leafs development staff, skated with them, and just did his own thing. I'm very curious, though, to see if he does report to the Marlies. They have 3 games this week, 2 in Laval, 1 in Belleville before coming back home. I'm interested to see whether or not he goes and travels with them and gets into a game or two. Speaking of the Maple Leafs, though, another note on them is that Timothy Liljegren is back up with the team. He did come down to the Marlies for a conditioning loan, but he seems to be on the cusp of returning, and the earliest he can return is November 5th against the Boston Bruins, so it's always possible that he comes back then. Jordy Ben, though, on the other hand, was at Marlies practice on Tuesday, and I believe the CBA says that he can play another 2 games if they've asked to extend his LTIR conditioning loan, so he could play 2 games in Laval this week. Now, let's shift to the Marlies. They're 5-2, like I said earlier in the video. They're having a very good start to the season, and a lot of that stems from their important players. Joey Anderson, for example, has 9 points in 7 games. Alex Steeves has 7 points in 7 games, and Semyon Argachintsev has 6 in his last 7 games. These 3 players have been vital parts of this Marlies team on the penalty kill, on the power play, everywhere on the ice. These 3 guys help this team out a lot. But there's been another player who stood out to me, and I want to go a little bit more in depth about him, and that guy is Noel Hoffenmeier. He spent most of the season last year with the Newfoundland Growlers, and coming into this year, I thought he'd bounce between the Growlers and the Marlies, and if he did play a majority of the games on the Marlies, it would be on the bottom pairing. And boy, I was wrong. He began the season on the bottom pairing, and game after game, he's gotten more confidence, and Greg Moore has pushed him up and up and up in the lineup, and now he's on the first pairing alongside Jordy Ben. It's safe to say as well that that promotion came from point production. Hoffenmeier, in his first 6 games with the Marlies this season, has 5 points, and for a defenseman, almost averaging a point per game, as a sophomore, that's pretty good. He's going to improve too, and the more he improves, the more opportunity he's going to get with this Marlies team.
I think with any good team, you have the confidence in all your teammates, and I think that's kind of what we're building here. I think everyone on the team is kind of coming together pretty early in this season, so I think that's really good for us.
One of his best qualities is his slap shot, and when I tell you that slap shot is hard, it is very hard. He's beaten a goalie once this season with it, but it's safe to say the expectation is that he's going to beat these netminders a lot more with it.
Yeah, I think that started my driveway when I was about 8 years old, but just trying to keep it sharp and use it when I can. I think it's one of my specialties or whatever it's called, but so I try to use as much as I can for sure.
The Marlies defense is interesting because they have 2 guys in Danny DeKeyser and Jordy Ben who both have played over 500 games in the NHL, and when you have that much leadership on the back end, you can learn a lot from them.
Everything they do, they just do it like pros. It's really easy to pick up off guys like that have been playing for so long and been playing well for so long, so as much as I can, just try and kind of shadow them and see what they're doing and kind of implement stuff that they do to my game.
Is there anything you've picked up specifically that you've tried to use?
Yeah, I think a big thing for me watching them has been just their sticks. I think over the years, obviously, they know how to use their sticks so efficiently and so well and break up plays and have it in the right spot. So just kind of picking up on little stuff like that to be able to try and implement that and kind of shadow them.
For Hoffenmeier, though, the main thing is consistency. The more he stays consistent, the more he gets points, the more he's good in the defensive zone, the more things that will come for him. And that could mean an NHL contract in the future. He's just got to put all that together in the AHL first. And once he figures all of that out, there's going to be a bright future ahead of him.